So guys, I don't know about you, but I love bread. Particularly, I love sourdough bread, and for the longest time, I've wanted to learn how to make my own. I looked up a few different recipes on how to make starters, and they all seem pretty easy. My original plan was just to make a sourdough starter myself and just get rolling along with it. That's until I found out about heirloom sourdough starters. Now, I knew sourdough lasted for a long time, and if you kept feeding it, you could pass it around just kind of like a kombucha SCOBY, and it could keep lasting for a very long time. But I had no idea it could last this long. I found out about Carl Griffith. He's a guy who's been keeping a family sourdough starter alive from 1847 from the Oregon Trail. Yeah, died of dysentery, that Oregon Trail. What I found out is that Carl's passed on now, but his friends have maintained a website where they've kept his starter alive and they will send it to you for free. All you need to do is pay the postage. You send an envelope to Carl's friends. I'm gonna put the website in the description. You send enough money or a stamp for them to send it back to you, and they will send you a dried sourdough starter from 1847. So of course, that's exactly what I did. And I have my letter right here. So let me open this up and show you guys what you get when you send for Carl's 1847 sourdough starter. Okay, so here I have a letter from them that says, "Thanks very much for your kind donation. Your donation will be used to offset postage and other costs for the sourdough. Carl Griffith's legacy of distributing sourdough starters is being continued by the 1847 Oregon Trail Sourdough Preservation Society. We will put your contribution to good use. Your donation enables us to continue providing the starter. Thanks again and good luck with your sourdough." So they also include this pamphlet if you request it, and it has a little bit of the history, instructions on how to bring your starter back to life, as well as some recipes for different sourdough breads and sourdough biscuits. The history has been asked for. All I know is that it started west in 1847 from Missouri. I would guess with the family of Dr. John Savage, as one of his daughters, Carl's great-grandmother, was the cook. It came on west and settled near Salem, Oregon. Dr. Savage's daughter met and married my great-grandfather on the trail, and they had 10 children. It was passed on to me through my parents when they passed away. I first learned to use the starter in a Basque sheep camp when I was 10 years old, as we were setting up a homestead on the Steens Mountain in southeastern Oregon. A campfire has no oven, so the bread was baked in a Dutch oven in a hole in the ground, which we had built the fire. I used it later for making bread in a chuck wagon on several cattle drives, again in southeastern Oregon. Considering that the people at the time had no commercial starter for their bread, I do not know when it was caught from the wild or where, but it's been exposed to many wild yeasts since, and personally I like it. I hope you enjoy it. Carl. This is a super cool thing. I love history. I love the Oregon Trail. I visited actually the Frontier Trails Museum in Independence, Missouri when I was traveling through the States earlier this year, and I learned a lot more about the Oregon Trail, and it was super cool to be there. And to get a sourdough starter that actually has history dating back to the Oregon Trail, it just blows my mind, honestly. I think that is the coolest thing, and I can't wait to make it. And without further ado, here's the starter itself. So it's basically just like a dust, eh? Like it's completely just a powder. So what you do to bring it back to life is actually included here in the pamphlet itself. Dissolve the contents of the packet into 3/4 cup of warm water and add 3/4 cup of white bread flour, 1 teaspoon of sugar in a glass or plastic container, not metal. Place the bowl covered with a damp towel in a warm place for up to 48 hours. It will get bubbly from fermentation. It's alive! Mix in 1 cup of warm water, add 1 cup of flour, 1 tablespoon of dried potatoes or use potato water, and let it sit in a warm place until bubbly again. Don't worry about the lumps as the fermentation will take care of them. And now you can store it in the fridge until needed. It will develop a clear liquid on top. If so, stir it back in as this is just alcohol. Keep it happy. It will need a feeding every couple of weeks. Add just 1 cup of warm skim milk or water, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 1 cup of flour. Once in a while, I'll add 1 tablespoon of dried potatoes. This guy likes potatoes. If it looks sick, add 1 tablespoon of cider vinegar to give it a kick in the behind. So guys, this video was just to show you that this thing exists. This isn't the only heirloom starter that exists. This opened the door to me to historical sourdough starters. There's heirloom starters available from so many different cool times. From the Klondike Gold Rush, from the San Francisco Gold Rush, from tons of different historical moments, somebody's kept sourdough alive and thriving, and you can get it. So guys, what did you think of this? Is this something that you guys knew about? Let me know in the comment section if this is something you'd be interested in trying yourself, or if you want to see more videos of me bringing this thing back to life and actually making something with it. I'm a history buff, I'm a bit of a collector, and I love to have stuff with history. The fact that I can eat food with history is so cool. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.